I'm Joe Catalano with an AM Quincy News update for Tuesday, February 6th. Quincy City Council has approved an agreement that will allow for the construction of a new medical complex in Quincy Center. Officials last night unanimously approved of a land disposition agreement that will allow Foxrock Properties of Quincy to build the 110,000-square-foot building at the site of the former Ross parking garage. Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center has already agreed to operate the new center that will provide a wide array of outpatient medical services. The plan also calls for 2 retail buildings and a parking garage. The proposal has been scaled down from an original plan for a 200,000-square-foot building. The medical center will have a 40-year property tax exemption. The new Quincy Police Station is expected to be completed by October of 2025. During an update on the project to the Quincy City Council last night, project managers told officials that the $150 million public safety complex on C Street is on time and on budget. Steel for the new building is going up now, and the building's expected to be weather-tight by the end of this year. Construction on a new parking garage behind the new station is also expected to begin soon, now that the former Father Bill's homeless shelter has been torn down. Once the new building is completed, the current police station will be demolished to make way for a park that will serve as a tribute to first responders. The new public safety complex will also be home for the police department, the fire department administration, and emergency management. A man tied to arson cases at multiple Boston-area Jewish institutions faced a judge yesterday after being extradited from Sweden over the weekend. Alexander Giankakis, formerly of Quincy, is accused of helping cover for his younger brother, whom federal authorities say set the fires at 4 locations in 2019. His brother, whose name was not released, died in 2020. Following his return from Sweden, Alexander Giannakakis' arraignment was continued until next Tuesday. He'll be held until at least then. You can still see the damage on the side of one of the buildings from the fire in 2019. Alexander Giannakakis faces charges including making false statements and concealing records. A 16-page indictment says that Giannakakis helped his brother and had taken the suspect's electronics, sketches, writings, and mail from the suspect's bedroom and brought them to Sweden. Giannakakis was arrested by Swedish authorities in 2022 on firearms violations. A personal care assistant has been charged with defrauding a 95-year-old woman of about $150,000. 41-year-old Dominique Emmanuel from Brockton is being charged with medical assistance fraud by provider and larceny over $1,200 by a single scheme. According to the DA, in February of last year, Boston police received multiple reports from a woman stating that her 95-year-old mother's personal care assistant was stealing from her. Authorities later identified that Emmanuel was the woman stealing and was listed as an alternate executor of the will. The victim's daughter then discovered her mother's Mattapan home was in foreclosure due to a reverse mortgage of which the victim and family members had no knowledge. They also learned that about $120,000 was withdrawn from the victim's bank account, which included $70,000 made payable to a construction company for work that was never done. Emmanuel also never collected rent from the first-floor tenant of the home that she and the victim were living in. The tenant told investigators he'd entered a rental agreement in March of 2021, and he had paid the person known to him as Dominique $3,600 cash for the first and last month's rent and $1,800 cash every month thereafter until December of 2022, totaling over $30,000 in payments, but the victim never received the payments. Emmanuel will be arraigned on February 22nd in Dorchester District Court. A person used a pry bar and a rock to break into a Hingham business this past week. Happened about 12:50 a.m. last Thursday at the Derby Street shops. When officers arrived, they found a pry bar in front of Lunette Optic and a large rock inside the store. The person tried to break open the front door with the pry bar, then shattered the glass door with a rock. Several display cases were forced open and some eyeglasses were stolen. The number of items stolen was not released. Anybody with information is asked to contact Hingham Police. Authorities are still searching for the gunman and vehicle wanted in connection with that deadly shooting on Interstate 95 in Foxborough over the weekend. And now they're asking the public to check any dash cam footage they may have. Troopers responding to a report of a shooting on the southbound side of the highway just after 10 o'clock Saturday night found the driver of a Mercedes suffering from gunshot wounds. The victim, 37-year-old Justin Parker of North Attleboro, was taken to Sturdy Memorial Hospital where he was pronounced dead. According to the DA's office, the driver of a dark-colored or possibly black sedan fired multiple rounds into Parker's Mercedes while traveling down the highway. Authorities are asking anybody who has dash cam or other video footage captured between 9 and 10 p.m. along the 95 South corridor from Waltham to the Rhode Island line, or along 93 or Route 3 from Boston or Weymouth through Milton and Canton to 95 South to contact detectives. Investigators believe the driver merged from one of those directions onto 95 South at about 9:20 p.m. Saturday night. Major swaths of the state's healthcare system are now considered high risk, with the crisis largely fueled by a major backlog of patients waiting to be discharged from hospitals, according to the Massachusetts Health and Hospital Association. The MHA indicated the situation is exacerbated by serious financial challenges at Steward Health Care, which on Friday said it does not plan to close any of its safety net hospitals in Massachusetts, but hinted that some facilities may eventually come under new ownership. The Department of Public Health elevated the risk level of two medical regions, the Boston metro area and northeastern Massachusetts, to Tier 3 last week, a designation that could result in hospitals slashing elective, non-urgent procedures and services. Hospitals with the designation must also meet frequently to discuss bed availability. The state makes its decisions about risk level tiering using a scale of 0 to 4 based on risk factors such as a spike in certain diseases, staffing problems, emergency department usage, and bed availability. The DPH, in an alert sent out to providers, said the new risk levels are being issued in order to assure good situational awareness and a rapid response for capacity constraints and workforce challenges. Other parts of the state, including southeastern Massachusetts and the Cape and Islands, have been assigned to Tier 3 since the start of 2023. The state in January outlined an agreement among hospitals, insurers, and long-term care settings designed to more smoothly and efficiently move patients through hospitals. The capacity crunch at hospitals is made even more precarious due to the unstable finances and uncertainty surrounding the Steward healthcare system. A growing chain of street food spots with influences ranging from the cuisines of California to Mexico to South America is expanding in the greater Boston area, and they'll be one of its first on the South Shore. According to a press release, Bar Taco is planning to open in Hingham at the Derby Street shops later this year, and the restaurant industry says it'll be taking over the former Nome space. Currently, there are two locations of the chain in the region, one in Boston's Fort Point, the second one in Brookline. The third one had been in the works for the Fenway section, although it's not known if those plans are still in place. Bar Taco opened its first location in Port Chester, New York in 2011, and now has nearly 30 outlets across the country. A check of business news this morning, and stocks pulled back yesterday. The Dow is down 274 points. The Nasdaq dropped 31. The S&P fell 15. Stocks are mixed in Asia. The dollar fell, the euro rose, oil at $73 a barrel. In sports, the Bruins are back in action tonight as they host the Flames at 7 o'clock. The National Weather Service forecast. For today, partly cloudy, maybe a passing snow shower or flurry, high 37. For tonight, partly cloudy, low of 25. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 39. Thursday, sun and clouds, high of 45. Friday, cloudy, but a high near 50 degrees. For the boater, waves 2 to 3 feet, the wind out of the north 10 to 15, gusting to 20, and a high tide 7:44 a.m. Sunrise 6:52, sets at 5:04. I'm Joe Catalano with an AM Quincy news update for Tuesday, February 6th.